Good. You're back.
I'm back. Is
Where
this the
were
start?
you? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, I'm so unused to these abrupt starts. First of all, Thomas, it's so good to hear the sound of your voice. And I'm so sorry I left you. The CNN Plus offer was just like too good. So for those that don't know, I went to CNN Plus. They made me this ridiculous offer. We spent the last month plus doing 100 6-hour-long episodes that we're just going to play on loop on CNN Plus nonstop. Then everyone knows the very short-lived tale of CNN Plus. It lasted almost 0 weeks, and none of that content will ever be seen. I won't get paid, and I had to scramble for my next gig and came crawling back and begging Thomas to take me back on PicklePod. And fortunately, he was gracious enough to give me a pay cut and let me come back. So Thomas, thank you so much. And I won't leave you ever again.
It's good to have you back. I had to break a heart though. I had to kick Casey off the pod.
He'll be okay. He's very strong and resilient.
Well, I mean, he's already bounced back. He's on the Freestyle Boys now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not PicklePod, but it'll do.
It'll do.
For him.
Speaking of Freestyle Boys, we do have Nunnery, Rob Nunnery, joining us
very good.
Shortly. He'll jump on.
Okay.
I think he has an interesting story for us because last night he texted me. He's like, I can't do the pod. I'm in the ER. It's like, all right, but not going to argue with that excuse. But I never got any information. So we're going to figure out what the heck happened to him.
What body part do you think it was affected?
I have no idea.
I'm going to say digestive tract.
Yeah, that's a good guess, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's a good guess.
Yeah. What are you saying? You can't choose the same as me. You got to choose
his brain. Else. I don't know. He had like
his short brain. Yeah. You think he's coming here now after a brain ER visit? Mm-hmm. No, I think digestive. Maybe he swallowed like a toy car or had to get that removed, or maybe probably just like food poison. I don't know.
No, it was something with his brain. The doctor said the best remedy would be to have some highly intellectual jousting to reinvigorate your brain, get it firing again, get you thinking.
With two of the best in the industry.
Exactly. And so I was like, well, sounds like you should still come on. And so he's going to come on here shortly.
Well, while we're waiting for Rob, I'd like to remind everyone to get their relight in.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. I had mine this morning still. The best electrolyte mix in the game, bar none. Mined from the salt mines of Utah, and absolutely delicious. It is one of the only electrolyte mixes that has as much sodium as you would sweat out in an hour.
Whoa.
And so the beauty with that, like, honestly, of all the electrolyte mixes I've ever tasted or ever tried, this is the only one that I can tell makes a difference on my muscle cramps. And so you can use the code PickleBall at checkout at Relight's website and load up at a discount. That's what I would do.
I had mine in the middle of the night last night because I did hot yoga last night and did not hydrate as usual.
Yeah.
And so I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh God, like I need to replenish. So I had
the perfect time.
Like 2 a.m.
Yeah. And
so
I bet
feel
it
good.
Helped.
Yeah. I'm looking at this mug that I have that I stole from my mom when I moved to New York.
Okay.
It says reasons to be a unicorn.
Yes.
Stunning.
Okay.
Fart glitter.
Uh-huh.
Poop rainbows. Live forever. Can fly. Awesome horn. You can stab people with. It's my mother's mug.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the stab people with at the end was the one I didn't see that one coming.
You didn't see that one coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing to me is weird. But anyway, I need to catch you up on everything that's happened.
Yeah. I was so busy creating content for CNN Plus. I didn't have as much time as I needed to follow pickleball news. So the last 4 to 6 weeks, what are our biggest stories?
By the way, people were like, did you guys break up?
Yeah.
It's like,
no. I mean, professionally for a second, but no, we're back. And stronger than ever. I think that this time away has made our hearts grow fonder.
Agreed. And now I'm going to bring you up to speed, and
Okay.
I'm going to run you through this. I'm just going to start reading stuff.
Yeah.
And then you decide what you want to talk about.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff, and it's in no particular order. It's just like an absolute jumbled mess. So
that's what I like.
All right. Well, Gary Vaynerchuk bought a team. I think that's probably like the biggest news for Major League Pickleball. So having a personality like that in the game, huge.
I had heard that, and also his team has contacted me for some partnership stuff. So we're gonna,
cool,
top secret, move a little forward with that.
Is it Vayner or 1:37 p.m.? We'll talk about it offline.
I was told Vayner, but I've been so busy creating content. I haven't had as many meetings as I need to have. So I'm catching up on all that.
Well, I'm doing some stuff with them too. So you should figure that out together.
Well, I mean, we are partners here. So it would, make sense that we also move forward with that stuff. Okay. Next.
Of course. He released, his team name. It has to do with like VFriends' NFTs, which are really popular and can be very valuable. So I think that's one of the things that's sort of underlying in that story that people don't realize, but it's great for the sport generally.
And do we need to do NFTs here at PicklePod?
We could do some NFTs. We are currently working with a company that's doing some like NFT crypto stuff. So
okay, cool. You know how hot NFT and crypto is.
There's a lot of these pickleball. I see Rob in the waiting room, and he's like trying to figure out his mic right now. He looks really funny.
Okay.
He's laughing.
Tell him to give us a thumbs up when it's time for us to let him in.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, he can just listen to the rest of these.
He can hang out with us. Why can't he hang out with us?
Yeah, agreed. What's up?
Rob, what's up, dude?
Thank you, Tyson. Don't let him keep me out of there.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, you're allowed to comment on this stuff. I said, I've been at CNN Plus, signed this huge deal with them. Thought it was going to be like my rest of my life. I was going to be with CNN Plus. Created over 600 hours of content with them, only to then have CNN Plus get canceled almost before it started. Now I came crawling back to PicklePod, and here we are. So Thomas is catching me up on the last month plus of pickleball news because I've been too enwrapped in creating this CNN Plus content that will never see the light of day.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it really is. So Thomas, we got Gary V. He does internet stuff, and so he's bought this team for Major League Pickleball. And that's news. I had heard that. So I think that's all I need to know about that. Next.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest. Well, I mean, and then obviously he came on. Well, so I interviewed him and I was like, yeah, we're not going to use this. Like I even say it when I was interviewing him, like, we're not going to use this. It's like, and then I was like, nah, this is too good. And so I like contacted his team. I was like, can I upload this? And so that's how we got him on PicklePod, but really,
by telling him you weren't going to use it and then use very,
it wasn't
really,
we don't
really
want this.
Professional. Yeah, we're not going to use it. It's just between us.
It wasn't it wasn't planned. That's not how I planned it, but it ended up working out really well.
So the Gary V thing did go live.
Yeah, so we uploaded it as like a PicklePod episode on YouTube and on Spotify.
And were you able to, have a conversation with him without me?
Yeah, and it was great.
Not a good one, but a conversation.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. That's what,
Rob,
yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Those were the undertones of my question.
Sorry. I'm just trying to choose my battles here.
Me and Tyson are just talking right now. So
no, I appreciate that, Rob. Thank you for backing me.
I don't want to go through this list anymore.
Oh, wow.
Talk to Rob.
Wow. Okay.
Well done.
We should talk to Rob. We've got the US. We got the US Open going on, right? Or
yeah.
That's
no, hold on. I want to get some more updates on Rob. So Rob, you're out in Hawaii. You just took a.
Wait, you're in Hawaii right now?
I am in Hawaii. Yeah.
He moved there, so you're living there now full time, right?
Yeah.
What island? Maui?
Maui. Yeah.
Okay, I do remember we had that conversation. So you're in Maui, and if I come to Maui, what can I expect from you?
It's a good question. What do you want?
I mean, place to stay, pickleball games. I just need to know the level of,
Whatever you want.
Oh, Okay.
But you're working full time there, so you just took a new position at the club you just mentioned, right?
Yeah. So McKenna Golf and Beach Club's Discovery Land property. Yeah,
Pretty nice.
And what do we do? What do people do? So like tourists can show up and play and pay to play?
No, you have to be a member, which means you have to own a residence or a piece of land at the club.
Okay.
Or at the property.
And I'm assuming it's a golf resort, all of that stuff. It's got everything.
Yeah, it's like ultra luxury, private.
Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a bad place to work.
No, it's quite nice.
Okay.
No, the Discovery Land crew, they had a Major League Pickleball team at one point.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in the ownership group this year, but
They're not.
And
no,
then
Discovery Land is like a massive company. They have properties everywhere, like Baker's Bay, like all over in like every nice location. It's pretty legit.
So are you still playing tournaments and stuff, traveling, or are you just mostly going to be in Mountain?
No, I'm gonna play a lot still.
Okay.
I'm in Hawaii. What the current situation is now is that I'm here seasonally and I'm gone in the summers from here just because it's slower. Most of the people that live out here go back to, there's a lot of San Francisco Bay Area people that come out here. There's a lot of Seattle people, a lot of West Coasters. The Seattle folks obviously want to be back in Seattle in the summer. So summer's slower over here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in the summers, based there anyways, at a place called Gaza Ranch, which is another Discovery Land property. So it'll be much easier to get to tournaments in the summer where I'm based on the mainland.
Right.
Okay.
Why no US Open?
I wasn't going to play the US Open even if I hadn't been living in Hawaii. Initially, it was just purely I'm only going to go play tournaments where my costs are covered by the tournament.
Yeah.
And US Open isn't covering costs for players. So I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
And it was a very like we covered in the podcast last year. It was quite a mediocre experience for it being my first US Open.
Right.
So I was just like, I don't want to go back.
Yeah. So what's like the general consensus on the US Open? It seems like, there's certainly like notable absences, but it still feels like it matters to the players that are there. Like, what's your perspective on the US Open and kind of like its place in pickleball right now?
Yeah, it has historical significance, right? It was kind of one of the first big tournaments that came on the scene that, really showcased pro level pickleball.
Yeah.
So it'll always have that. But in terms of where pro pickleball has gone and the way it's evolved and the perks involved now for the players and the way players are treated, they haven't maintained really that standard. And other tournaments are passing them. Yeah. But like if you're there, like players still want to win. Like the prestige is still real. It's not going to be as pure of a title as, some of the big tournaments where everybody's at.
But like if you're a player who wins the US Open and you've got these companies coming into pickleball trying to get in, and you can say I'm a US Open champ, they don't know the difference, right? It still holds that value to anybody who's external,
100%,
right? 100%. So
100%.
it's almost like a cheat code. If you can go there when like certain players aren't there, competition's more thin than it usually is. You can kind of squeak out a win and be the US Open champion.
Yeah. So for the pickleball world, though, the pros, what would you say is the most notable tournament that is a real victory against the very best? Like if you could pick one tournament, Rob, that you win, which one would it be?
I was going to ask this too.
It would have to. It's very dependent, right? It's before the tours kind of split with the exclusive contracts where you're really not allowed to play anything else. If you're on 3-year, it's going to be a tournament that everybody's at. Like, everybody.
So it doesn't necessarily matter. It's just the PPA with the most players or the APP with the most players. Yeah,
I mean, it certainly matters in terms of prize money size, right? It's like I don't know what the biggest one was last year, for example, but I think the Vegas Championships was pretty big. I wasn't there for that one. But I think most everybody played that.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what you're looking at is more like it's based more on prize money for you rather than there being an extra prestigious event to win. There's really not an event like that right now. The US Open kind of is, but like Thomas said, there's a cheat code. Not everybody's showing up anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have a real concentrated event where every single pro wants to participate and wants to win.
Yeah, and Nationals is kind of in the same boat,
Right.
where a lot of people didn't go last year, and yeah, so I think it's actually an interesting time if you're running a tournament, like you could that's what
The World Championships, create a World Championship event, big prize money.
somehow get all the players there.
Come.
The challenge is with
that's
the
the hardest
PPA
part.
contracts.
Yeah.
But I think that it could serve everyone well if you could include everyone for just one big hurrah of pickleball, get every single top pro there, to have a conversation with the PPA and the APP and say, we're just doing a single world championship style event. Like, I think it could happen, but like right now, there's not the measuring stick.
Good luck. Is that what Thomas said?
Yeah.
Thomas said good luck.
Well, I would agree with Thomas there.
I'm not a meetings person, so we'd have to have somebody else do the meetings for us.
Yeah, we need.
Oh, sorry, that went over my head. So you were pitching something. You want us three to put this on?
Yeah, we are.
I'm not a meetings person.
We own the World Championships of Pickleball, and if you want to be world champ, and where
it goes through here,
and it's like cycling, where the world champ gets a special world champion colored outfit to wear at each, so that you know who the world champion is in that, whether it's singles, doubles, or mixed doubles. The world championship, the world champion clothing is very distinguishable throughout the entirety of the following season until the next world championships.
It's good to have you back. I forgot how good your ideas are.
Dude, I'm like a real business guy, you know?
Yeah. We've come up, I mean, if our listeners would just kind of like take some of our ideas and run with them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Billionaires.
Couple billionaires. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? I want to test my audio live on this is going to be good podcasting right here, but
Okay.
Rob, I want to know if you can hear this and if there's a hum in the background or if it's good.
Go again.
Can you hear a hum in the background?
Like a hum in the background, or is this good? Is this better than the headphones I was using?
Yes.
And you don't hear any electrical hum or anything?
No.
I think that's on your end, Tyson.
I don't think it is, because I can hear it again. I couldn't hear it before. Now I can hear it, but whatever. We'll listen to the podcast at the end and see if the hum is present or not.
Yeah. I mean, I would hate to have to just like delete this episode after all the, butt cheek gold, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You're not going to CNN plus me here, Thomas.
Yeah. You've had too many heartbreaks lately.
Yeah.
All right. So Rob, what's the next tournament that we're going to see you at then?
As long as my butt cheeks hold up, next week in St. Louis.
Okay. What's that one? Is that an APP? PPA?
Yeah, it's a St. Louis. I think St. Louis Open APP 100K.
Got it. Okay. And then you're doing Major League Pickleball, right?
I am doing Major League Pickleball. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. And the application's closed for that, and the draft is coming up here. So I think
the draft reveals and the draft's already happened.
Yeah, that's right.
The draft reveal is at the end of May. I think they're going to do it in New York.
At the New York City Open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Okay, so we'll
which I will see you at, right?
Yeah, and
we're going to do some stuff.
Yes,
let's do some stuff.
We are. Yeah. Let me hype this up a little bit. I do believe we're going to be doing something with Gary Vee and his team there. So Tyson, you're back alive again. So we should talk about that offline as well. And then we also might be helping with the actual broadcast of the draft reveal. Tyson, we also need to talk about that. So But for anybody who's in New York, if we have New York listeners, I mean, I know that pickleball's still up and coming there, but just got an interesting text. But yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good event. So come out if you're
when is it
in New York? But we'll have more details on that. I think we have to kind of
It's that May 26th, 7th, 8th, something around then weekend.
Because it sounds like I'm going to this, Thomas, and I didn't know I was, but now I guess I am. Okay. So it would be nice to know the dates at least.
Sorry, I misread the text. We can talk about this. Yeah, so it's May. It's a Thursday, the week of May 23rd, and we're going to do an event in the city. There's going to be an exhibition. We'll have some pros there. I talked to Rob, obviously, Kyle Yates, Irina Tereshchenko, Zane Navratil, and we're working on some other pros as well. But it should be a cool event. The idea is like, let's just hype up pickleball in the biggest city in the world, because I think it's pretty lacking there at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And having somebody like Gary Vee and his team involved, I think it will really help, like put a spotlight on the sport, give it the shine that it deserves. And, I think it'll be a cool event. So
I can get some people there too.
Yeah.
New York is my largest fan base for some reason. Like on Instagram, when you look at like your insights,
well, you should just come out to it. You should come. I
thought you said I had to be there, but now you're saying, now you're inviting me. Now you're saying like I should.
This is like the whole Gary Vee thing. He's like, we're not going to use this for the podcast.
No,
Tyson, we're not going to use you in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to be there.
So should I be there or should I not be there?
You should be there. I need you to be there. So
again, I need you to be there.
Okay.
But you're going to have to not. If we take a picture together, you can't look that much taller than me in the next picture we take.
No, I definitely will hunker down. Plus,
that was a tough.
That was a hard loss for you.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough pill to swallow. I didn't realize how tall you are.
When we were in Vegas in the announcing booth, that photo. I'm so sorry, Thomas. Yeah. I mean, but I'm like 6'9", so like even though you're 6'3", you're still gonna look.
Yeah, thank you.
Like much shorter than me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so Rob, Tyson, we had Colin Johns on, and it ended up being like the best episode we've ever done.
Why is that?
Because he blew everybody's mind. He just started talking about like nerdy pickleball stuff, and it was like he was throwing all these like crazy concepts out there. And one of like the main themes was pickleball is not meant to be played 50-50. So if you're playing doubles, it should not be about each of you covers 50% of the court. It's actually to your detriment to play it like that. There should be one clearly dominant player. I mean, you call it out. So it's an explicit thing. Like, this is the dominant player. And then the other person is kind of playing around that player's strengths, and you play together as like a unit. You're shifting as a unit, and it has like extreme advantages. It's why the Johns Bros are so successful. And I just wanted to like bring that up and get Rob's perspective on that, because it seems like something that every pro just kind of intuitively knows, but has just not been something that's been discussed in any instructional content. And at the amateur level, every time I go to a court, it's like, all right, you got that half, I got this half. Like, if it's in the middle, we'll just whoever's forehand, but that's the extent of it. So Rob, I want to kind of get your perspective on that whole philosophy and how you view that.
Yeah, I think at the pro level, it definitely has some merit, right? I also think Colin's in a different position than most when you have a guy like Ben to your left.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's not even on the pro level, right? There's not many people take away ability and skill and talent. Like, there's not many other guys that play taking that much court in men's doubles. And it's not purely because they don't want to. It's a different skill. And so I certainly it's the way they play best. But I don't think any other teams in the men's side have really allowed that left side player to really take that much court. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes. But I don't think everybody can do that, no matter how good of a left side player you really are. The Johns are unique in that respect, where you have such a dominant player on the left. Most teams don't have that. Could be developed. I'm not saying it's not the right way to play. I'm just saying, Colin, that's easy for Colin to say, right? Because it's it's how they play best for sure, and it's how they should play. At the amateur level, probably not. Was he said? I didn't hear the episode and I didn't hear his comments, so I might be missing some.
Yeah, I mean, he did say that, like, I mean, he explicitly said, like, when I started playing pickleball, I designed my game, and we designed our doubles game around Ben. Ben said to him, if we're going to play together, we have to basically design our strategy around me taking up, you know, a larger percentage of the court. So they take it, of course, to the extreme. But for somebody who is at the amateur level, are you saying that you disagree with the idea that, let's just say, like, it's a 4-5 match? You think they should be playing 50-50?
I don't know if 50-50 is the right way to put it, but I wouldn't say, you know, 75-25 like Ben and Colin are.
Yeah.
You can have the stronger player take more court, of course, but maybe we're looking at like a 55-45, 60-40. But when you're taking over more than, let's call it 60% of the court, or even 60% of the court, I don't think a 4-5's movement on court is going to be strong enough to really maintain that, because it's all positioning and all movement, footwork to cover that much court. And I think a 4-5 would struggle to be able to maintain that.
What about other pro teams?
Other pro teams, sure. I think it just needs to, the unique thing about Ben and Colin are like what Colin said, like what you said that Colin said, is that they design their games around that. All the other pro teams, typically aren't brothers that have designed their games around each other. It's a couple guys that are looking at partnerships. Who do they want to partner with next year? And then they meet up and then they partner, and
based on skill level, based
on skill level, right?
Yeah.
They're not actually trying to mold their games to be the best fit of how they play, which is unique because I was talking to Casey Patterson about this, like when we first interviewed him on the Freestyle podcast, and he was like, pickleball is going to change to where you guys stop just like partnering up with random people, and you guys practice together, you train together.
Yeah.
You focus on specific strategy based on how you guys should play based on your strengths as a team. That's not happening in pickleball yet.
Yeah. And we talked about that too, Thomas, in the past, where we'd asked partners, like, you guys need to start living by each other and seeing each other daily.
100%.
That's something that partners are going to have to do as the sport gets more and more competitive.
Absolutely agree. You're not going to be able to, as the game evolves, you're not going to be able to just pop in with a random partner and go medal at a tournament anymore. It's going to get too intricate with strategy and needing to know specifically how to play with your partner. I think it's definitely going to change, and I agree. I think you're going to have to be in the same location as your partner, training with your partner, really gelling the same way as Ben and Colin do it now. So it's a big deal, and nobody's doing it yet.
On the amateur level too, Thomas, it's like, if you're playing amateur, one of your goals should be to get better. You're not going to get better if you're letting someone carry or do the lion's share of the work at all the tournaments. Sure. Then, like, at what point are you separating from them because they're then improving faster than you or whatever? Like, maybe not, but like that's my thought on especially at the amateur level.
It's also not fun.
It's also not fun at the amateur level. Like at the pro level, I get it. You want to win, and winning is the most important part.
Are you saying, for example, at the amateur level, like somebody that is playing the right side, for example, and is just not getting as many balls?
They're not getting as many balls, but they're also like letting someone else control the game for them to a certain degree more. And then it's like, A, what's the fun in that? But B, also, like, you're not, like, I'd rather go to a tournament. Like, let's say, Rob, you and I, you're much better at pickleball than I am, but we go and we sign up a 4 or 5 tournament together. I don't want you to hit the balls on my side very often. Like, I respect you as the better player, but my goal is to have fun, and I want to hit the balls, and I also want to challenge myself as well. And I feel like if I'm letting you take 80% of the court, then I'm doing a disservice to myself and my game, because I'm not taking advantage of that opportunity to play in a competitive environment and improve myself in that situation.
Interesting. So yeah,
I'd rather lose trying and try to carry a percentage of the team rather than watch you win the whole thing for us.
Interesting. Do you think most people's perspectives are like that at the amateur level? Because I really don't know.
I think that anybody who's done something competitively in the past at a higher level than what they play pickleball at is like that. But I think people whose most competitive thing they've ever done is pickleball probably are more concerned with winning a 3-0 tournament than actually like challenging themselves to
and getting better. Yeah.
Yes. So I think I think there's the two mentalities. Like some people just want to post on Instagram that they won a 3-0 tournament and just have the picture of the medal. I don't care about that. I want the experience. I want to feel like I got something out of it. I want to feel like I learned something while I was there and that I did something that I wasn't sure I could do.
Love it. Makes sense.
So, but I don't blame anybody for just wanting a medal, but you guys know that those medals are sometimes plastic, sometimes they're pewter with like a plastic gold coating. They're not real precious metal.
It's not real gold.
Yeah. So, Thomas, would you rather win or have an experience that you feel like you earned and learned something?
What do you think about our experience together?
I liked it. We both played. I mean, I think we both could have played better. I don't think we were on our A game, but I liked that we both like took our shots and we both like, you know, got in the mix and we didn't step on each other's toes. We also didn't like, we were fine covering the middle. It wasn't like we kept like clunking heads in the middle as we were both like fighting for those balls. So I think if we played together a couple more times, but I also like, if you stepped like 80% onto my court while I'm standing right there, I would definitely be like, bro, that's too far over.
Here's my thought. All right. The experience is great. And even if you don't do that well, like you're probably going to have a good time. Like assuming you just get like a win or a couple wins or something like that. You have some like competitive matches, you walk away and it's a valuable experience. And those medals, they might be pewter. They might be plastic, but when you walk away with one, there's something inside you that goes, hell yeah. Regardless of level, you could be like,
I don't,
be
that's
like
not the same for me.
You could be like 4-0 bronze. And that will make people's month. That'll make people's year.
Oh man, my
right?
favorite is going down to the hotel breakfast the next morning, you know, the continental breakfast, and just sitting there and just watching people walk around with their medals from the day before. From the day before.
Yeah. See, that's not me. I take the medal, I hand it to my daughter. She can do with it what she wants, hang it up in her room or throw it in the garbage. Like I have so many amateur medals for so many different things that I don't have space for any of them.
Dang. What's that like?
I mean,
I like one medal.
It's just like the story of my life. Like age group swimming growing up, all the way through into college. Like I have so many stacks of ribbons and medals.
Your parents kept them all?
Yeah.
God, my parents just moved and
but the reason
up in the trash.
The reason to keep the swimming ones is because they put your time on the back of all of them. So like you have like, you can see how your time's progressed and stuff through that. I don't know where they're at, but I think they're stashed in my parents' house somewhere.
Got it. All right. Ready for a pivot away from your trophies and accolades?
Yeah. Cause it's too many. Yeah. I mean, this would be its own separate podcast where we just cover all my accolades every single episode.
Well, Tyson, one of the things, and I've sort of already said this, but one of the things we realized when you were gone is like, we get really that, and we get a really strong, definitely that, we get a really strong response to just talking about like pickleball play, strategies, insights, sort of like the underlying things that maybe the small tweaks you can make in your game to really improve. So,
okay.
And I like to make it specific to the person's game. So, Rob, I think
Rob's game.
Yeah, we're not talking about. We're done with your talking about you, Tyson.
Okay.
One of the things about your game that I think is so noticeable, Rob, when I watch you, is your ability to like pull off a good speed up from below the net. Where I think like any coach would tell like, okay, if you're like a 3-0, it's like you should be speeding up from there. But you've kind of developed your game to a way where you can be pretty successful. You can catch people off guard, initiating speed ups. despite it not maybe looking like an obvious speed up moment? What kind of like do you look for? How do you think about disguising your shots? And how do you determine when to actually like pull trigger and when not to?
Yeah, it's dependent on a few things. One, on who's in front of me and who I'm pulling the trigger against. I would be curious. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I wish stats were more prevalent in pickleball. I would love to see
new business idea.
Oh, the stat stuff. Somebody should do it and
trading cards with stats on the back.
Get it dialed in. But I would love to just see the data on, speed up percentage, like win percentage. Like what percentage of the time do you speed up off the bounce and win that point? What percentage of the time do you speed up out of the air and win the point? I would think, it's interesting because as a player, you're like, that worked, even if it was like 1 out of 4. And if it's 1 out of 4, you shouldn't be doing it. So I would be really curious to see percentage wise. I think I still do it too often, to be honest with you. So there are certain times where I'll do it and I'll do it at will, especially like if somebody is known to just hit a lot of resets back. If I know they're not going to counter, or they're going to counter not very often and like bring anything with heat back, and they're just going to try to soften it up, just attack at will. Like, don't stop attacking that person ever, because they will never hurt you, and they will never, ever keep every ball down soft to where they're going to be in good position.
Right.
So if you're playing somebody that only resets and tries to block, do not stop attacking.
Light them up,
and don't stop until somebody shows that they can counter and bring something with heat back. Just keep going.
You said you probably do it too often, but I think the argument too is that you have to do it a certain amount so that your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do. If you're taking the same shot from the same bounce every single time, then they have predicted your gameplay and know what to expect. So even though that shot's not always successful, like I think is what you're alluding to, like maybe it's only 25% successful, but maybe it keeps your opponents on their heels enough that it helps you in other ways.
Yeah, I would say there's a counter to that in terms of the more you don't attack that ball, that's kind of that in between ball where, if I'm coaching somebody, I'd say that's not attackable. You should dink that. The more you dink that ball rather than flick it, the more they'll sit back and not expect it, right? Yes. The more you attack, the more they're going to anticipate the attack. So the more you're dinking, this, it keeps them guessing more.
Right. I guess you don't want them to anticipate fully all the time, because 100%. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the challenge, is like the more you actually dink and the more you stay patient, the more your attacks actually work versus trying to attack a lot.
Along those same lines, I actually have had someone tell me to assume the ball is coming back hard every time and be in position for that to happen, even if it's below the net. And that way, is that kind of like what you're alluding to here, is that person is going to be extra on guard, so a dink isn't going to throw them off at all, but they're also ready for a speed up because they've seen you do speed ups from below the net. Yeah,
once you've shown somebody that you can flick a ball at them below the net, they're going to be looking for it.
Okay,
they're going to be looking for it a lot. That's why mixing it up. If instead of, let's say I'm going cross court with you, Tyson, just dinking cross court, and Thomas is right in front of me, and Thomas has seen me take one out of the air, my backhand, and flick it at him, he's going to be looking for that a lot now. Right. So what I'll do sometimes is just, you'll dink cross court, then instead of flicking that one out of the air at Thomas, I'll just take it out of the air and just dink it at Thomas. So he's not waiting on that attack every single time. So it's just mixing it up, just so your opponent's not sitting on what you're going to do every single time.
Okay.
So it's mixing it up. It's disguise. It's patience. The more patient you are, the better everything works.
That's the key.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. I've got a little hack.
Ooh, a game hack or a life hack?
Yeah. This is definitely for this will work a few times and then people will get used to it. I mean, Tyson, it's kind of like your Ernie. I mean, it is an Ernie, but it's something that I like to do. And I actually have a clip of me doing this. I was playing with Ava Welsher and then some other good players. And I do this all the time, particularly when I'm playing with people that I haven't played with before. And it's like sort of like an easy way to get like potentially like a quick point, right? So they're serving cross court to you. The idea is to just simply return down the line, tight to the line. And as soon as that person returns your return or plays a ball back, you're like sprinting up and you're trying to get that Ernie off of their third shot drop.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, you do it all the time.
Yeah,
and I do it all the time. And
did you learn it from me?
Tried it, maybe. I mean,
so you're saying they're hitting that third right back down the line?
They're hitting it down the baseline, and you're still back court. But as you hit it and they hit it, you take your few steps up and Ernie
and you kind of surprise them.
Their third shot because they're not expecting you to be there.
A smart player will foresee that and hit their third shot to the middle, not tight to the line.
But when you're playing dumb players, it works every time.
Well, listen,
not every time, but like if you're aware of it, then you can do. I'm also tall enough that sometimes if a cross court dink to me is a little bit high, I can Ernie that as well.
That's
if they're trying to hit that.
Holy grail is being able to Ernie cross court dinks.
Yeah,
let's go.
Doesn't happen all the time, but I can do it sometimes.
That's the decal right there.
Yeah,
so the decal always does.
Yeah, I love that move though, because you've got all that momentum moving forward as that ball's coming down the baseline. It feels really
fun
nice.
Too. I mean, you get away with one, you're like,
and I don't laugh like that. I look them dead in their eyes, and just it's like dunking over somebody. It's like Michael Jordan. Yeah, it's like Michael Jordan dunking over Mark Eaton, and then just like not saying a word, just looking at him till he looks away,
or cries.
Yeah, or cries. Gets on the fetal position on the left side in the shower.
Too soon. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Anything else, Thomas?
Yeah, well, Rob, so I just want to get an update on Freestyle, boys. So Casey, he dumped me, but luckily at the same time, Tyson, his
timing worked out perfectly.
Fell through. So is he a permanent fixture on the Freestyle boys now? And what's the update there?
He is. Casey is a permanent co-host, so pumped to have him. He's ever since we talked to him last year. I haven't spent a ton of time with Casey actually, but like every time we talk, it's a really good conversation, and he's a really good dude. And I just love that he can bring the amateur insight into the podcast. I think it's something that was missing before in terms of relatability and talking about strategy and helping amateurs get better, because he's going through that exact process where he wants to get as good as he can get, and he's played a sport at the highest level, so he has that relatability in terms of having seen kind of a niche sport grow from its infancy into a more established sport, which is what pickleball is trying to do right now. So super pumped to have him.
And we don't want to like say who's better and who's not, but who's the better podcaster, me or Casey? You don't have to answer. You can just say, choose not to answer.
Who has the better hair? That's also a tough. That's
a really tough one.
That was actually what I don't know. I know who's taller. Not me. No, Casey's definitely taller. Yeah. I have
never taken a picture with him either.
6'10".
Yeah, I love playing.
He's 6'10".
Well, if Tyson's 6'9",
if I'm 6'9", Casey's 6'10". No, Casey's probably like 6'6" or 6'5", right?
Yeah, I think
at least
6'6". Yeah.
Yeah. I love playing pickleball with him. He's super fun on the court, just as a personality.
He's always fun.
So
always wanted to be tall.
Oh, dude, you'd love it, Thomas.
You'd love it. You're really missing out, but you love it.
Yeah. It looks awesome. I mean, it really
it does look awesome.
It looks really cool. My buddies always make fun of me because I'm like 5'10", and I always pretend I'm 6 foot, and they always make fun of me or whatever because I'm not as tall as them, and so I realized that for state IDs you can just tell them whatever height you want.
Yeah.
So for over like a full year, my ID was I think it was like 6'1", on my Michigan
great.
State ID, just so I could
love
pull it out and be like, well, government says otherwise, guys. So
Yeah, this
enough
is
with the
it.
jokes. Yeah. But
You got them.
all right. I think that's all we got. Well, Rob, you're a DUPR athlete, right?
I am.
Give me a little, what's your favorite part about DUPR as a pro? I mean, when you're using it, like how does it come in handy for you?
No, so I just actually, it's funny you mentioned it because I just saw a post that I think it was maybe Dane Gingrich, and it was like him and Weinbach wanting to play. I think it was Anna Lee and somebody else. I like the genderless aspect of it, that you know, we just have a set rating for all people regardless of gender, and it shows how everybody stacks up. And I was actually talking to Steve Kuhn yesterday, and he threw a stat at me that I was like, that was actually quite impressive. He was like, from all of the matches that we've aired, like pro level matches, DUPRs accurately predict the winner over 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. Like,
right. So when the sports
legit.
books lines come out, you just got to, follow DUPR.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Lots of small wins.
I'm sure they don't endorse it being a betting tool, but unofficially, it's probably a pretty good betting tool.
Yeah, no, that was more accurate than I thought it would be. So,
well, you know how sports betting goes. It always goes really well until it goes really, really bad.
I don't. Yes. I abstain.
Yeah.
So I know it's a slippery slope for me.
Yeah.
Until pickleball betting comes, then you're going to be a degen.
Yeah. Yes. I'll be like, "Where's Thomas this morning?" He's like, "I was up all night at the casino."
Just scratching himself.
Oh, so like gamblers are like crackheads now too? Okay, got it. It was like quite a leap there.
Okay.
Good. All right. We'll end on gambling crackheads.
Okay, good.
All right, guys. So we're taking this. We took this clip from the beginning of the episode and we put it at the end here because it wasn't totally pickleball related, and it ended up being pretty long. But if you want to hear about Rob's butt stuff, because hey, why wouldn't you want to hear about his butt stuff? You can listen, but just providing a little clarification on why this episode might seem a little bit choppy. We're going to start with the pickleball stuff, and then we go to the butt stuff.
Rob, I don't know. You were slated to be our guest today. Mm-hmm. Then Thomas got a text message from you last night that said you were going to the ER and probably wouldn't be able to be on today. Then Thomas texted me that this morning, and I said, text Rob back and see if he's on, because an ER story is good for the pod. And then we guessed.
That's why CNN Plus hired you, by the way, because you think about that stuff.
Yeah.
You're like,
and I was like,
content first guy.
Exactly. But before I make sure anybody's okay, right, I need to make sure if I can put it out on the internet. Yeah.
Life-threatening predicament?
No. So I guessed that it was something to do with your digestive tract. But Thomas guessed brain injury.
I didn't know what else I had left. It didn't sound like from the text that it was like you hurt your elbow or something. So.
Yeah, but like he's texting with a brain injury.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's figure it out.
Rob, who's closer here? Who's closer here? Digestive tract or brain injury?
I would say Tyson's closer.
Kaboom!
Shocker.
Yeah. And can you go into some details about this? Well, like what happened?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, it's been a couple weeks since I started feeling it, but basically had developed some. Story developed some lumps like around my butt, and I thought it was from lifting. Like I thought it was from like lifting heavy weights because I do like these kettlebell swings.
So you're thinking like hemorrhoids? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I looked it up. It didn't seem like hemorrhoids.
Hernia?
I looked at it was possible hernia, but these like it would go away. It would come and then it would go away. And then just the past 3 or 4 days though, it got to the point where like it's all consuming pain. Like even if I'm not sitting, like I can't think about anything else other than this.
And like out of curiosity for myself.
Yeah.
It's like in the butt. or it's like around the butt?
It's not like in the anus, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like,
So it's like in the crack area.
yeah, it's like the lining of it, I guess, like the crack area. But it's like on both sides, and there's like these little hard lumps that are like really tender to the touch, and it makes it impossible to sit down. I've
Saddle sores.
been taking 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen like every day, and still feel it.
Okay.
So the pain's real, which is what drove me to go to urgent care a few days ago, which I'm typically a guy that avoids the doctor. So for me to go to urgent care, it was real.
Yeah, for our listeners, like if you don't go to the doctor, then you don't know something's wrong with you. So that's like my play too. I was like, if I go to the doctor, I'm probably just going to find out how unhealthy I am.
Right. So I'm going to avoid that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like when we don't drill, because like we want to avoid looking at the fact that our fundamentals suck. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We
That
want,
all
like,
every
earning
shot,
and stuff
every good
like
shot
that.
I hit is lucky. I don't want people to know that that's all it is. Okay, so Rob, so you go to urgent care. So this is separate from your ER visit or the urgent care.
Yeah, no,
this
this is separate. This is probably 4 days ago. And they're like, yeah, this probably this, I don't know what she thought it was like. It was diagnosed as like a polynidal cyst, which is basically at the very, like the bottom of your tailbone, basically the top of your crack. And it usually comes from ingrown hairs, and it's usually in people younger than me. So it turns out, like so she diagnosed me with that. Basically was like, I can't do anything for you. You probably should see a surgeon. So they referred me over to a surgeon, which is where I went yesterday.
Okay.
So go to the surgeon, and this is easily the most uncomfortable doctor visit I've ever been to. Ever.
Okay. Yeah.
It was terrible.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna need some real detail here.
Lovely. So get to this guy's office. Pleasantries with the reception. Lovely. Oh,
Great.
you work at McKinney Golf and Beach Club? I'm like, I do. Oh, you do pickleball there? I do. Oh, so we probably know all the same pickleball people. Okay, so build a little connection with the receptionist. Get called back. Go to the back room. Doctors ask me a few questions. What's happening? How did you get here? How long has this been happening? Take your pants off and get sideways on this table.
Okay. Very, very little foreplay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like
the bedside was
was lacking.
Something a lot to be desired. Yeah. I mean, there was, so pants off, lay down on my left side.
What kind of pants are you wearing here? Are these
joggers, Lululemon joggers?
Okay.
So choice. I went with the comfy choice for the doctor's office.
Very smart.
So my thought is, okay, it's going to be some kind of cyst. They're just going to be able to like, hopefully give me some kind of numbing agent to where I don't feel any of this. And then they're just going to cut this thing out, drain it, whatever. It's going to be gone. I'm going to be able to walk out of this place with like a little incision that needs to heal. But whatever this pain is going to be gone. That was like kind of my hope and expectation going into this appointment.
So at this point, there's one single problem area or there's multiple?
There's multiple, but multiple areas around my butt.
Okay. Good.
I love just talking about my butt on the internet. This is fun. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you having me on.
I mean, our listeners are going to love this.
I mean, you can speed up. You're the one that's telling the story. You can speed it up at whatever pace you want to.
You're like pausing and you're like, no, give me more detail on like where in the crack.
Okay. I only for my own. And Rob, this is why I'm asking, because I'm like, if this ever happens to me, like I also need to know this courses of action I need to take in this moment. So what you're doing is you're educating people. Okay. Yep. So this happens and you're thinking they're going to pain relieve me before they do whatever they're doing.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. Right. He just tells me to get on my side. So I'm basically on my left side. He says, tuck your, knees up to your chest as much as you can. So like almost in like a little fetal position, laying on my left side, pants down, fully exposed. He starts getting in there, like just kind of feeling around with his thumb to see like where the pain points are. It's like, is it there? I'm like, yeah. Is it there? Yeah. He's like, And I'm like, I could just show you, instead of you kind of exploring and like trying to figure out what hurts, I could just show you what hurts.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do this whole song and dance.
Also,
and
that position you're in there, that's what I call the crying position. Like if I'm in the shower in the fetal position on my left side naked, that's definitely I'm crying.
Like when you got the call from CNN Plus.
No, when I got canceled from CNN Plus. Oh, when I got the call, that's what you were doing. And then when I got canceled from CNN Plus because all of CNS disappeared, then that was me in the shower. Okay, so did he let you tell him where the sores were, or he just wanted to keep poking and prodding?
He just wanted to keep poking and prodding. But I basically was just like telling him, yep, it hurts more there, hurts more here. And he goes, all right, going in. And then didn't say much else, and whoop,
all the way in.
I mean, we're talking full tilt to the
knuckles deep. Okay.
Knuckles deep.
Okay.
Not once, but like several times without warning. I didn't like it.
Okay. Are you healed? Like, what is you're sitting now
emotionally? You mean
emotionally? Definitely not. No, this is going to be years and years. But
I'm sitting, so no, this thing's been a lifesaver.
You on a donut? Oh, nice, a donut.
A lifesaver. Before that, like I could not sit.
So, what was the prognosis? Did he do surgery?
Well, we're not done with my doctor's visit yet. So okay, so that happens, and he's like, all right, we need to try to cut this open. Lovely.
We're gonna talk little pickleball strategy once this is over, just for everybody listening. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting back to pickleball.
I'll speed this up a little bit.
No,
I know that like sometimes like my grandpa listens to this. He's
gonna love it.
He is gonna love it.
All right, so he's like, we need to cut this thing open. Let's try to. He's like, I don't know if it'll drain, but let's try to drain it. So he calls in the nurses, the two that I was just exchanging pleasantries with in the reception. We know the same people, and now she's gonna see me in all my glory. So anyways, he's like, now I need you pants off, face down on this mat, this bed. And he pulls out like a needle for anesthetic. So just to kind of numb it, he basically finds the first spot. He's like, okay, we're going to try to drain this first. I got to tell this part first. So before he starts actually going there, he lays me down. He starts telling me this joke about Hawaii 5-0. He's like, I used to love this show, Hawaii 5-0. This guy would always say, spread him, and then put him against the wall. And then like, meanwhile, like all I hear is like, sounds like big roll of tape coming out. He's taping each butt cheek to the table, pulling it. So it's like spreading them open. And he just wanted to tell me that's similar to Hawaii 5-0, where he's spreading my butt cheeks out with tape. How that's somehow similar to them spreading somebody against the wall.
This is a real story. You didn't
100%
make this up. Okay.
No, Jesus, okay. No. And meanwhile, the nurses are right there while he's spreading my butt cheeks. The ones that are like, oh, we were just talking about knowing the same people, awkward. And then, so I'm prepared, laying on the table, butt cheeks are spread. He pulls out the anesthetic needle. I don't know if that's what it's called, but finds the first spot that he wants to inject where there's like a little lump, injects, hurts, and then immediately goes with the incision. So puts the local anesthetic in, starts cutting me. It felt like there was no numbing agent. Like it was the worst pain I've ever felt. Like somebody shredding my butt with a steak knife. Like it was terrible. And to the point where like I'm holding onto the table, like with both hands in the front.
Probably
like
sweating and everything.
Shaking. Oh no, dripping sweat.
Yep.
And even the nurse was like, maybe you should use more. Like saying that to the doctor. I'm listening to this. And then he's like, nope, no drainage. I'm like, oh, great, perfect. On to the next. So goes to the same thing, numbs, sticks a needle in to numb another spot, cuts, nope, no drainage. So we do this 4 different times of just going to different spots trying to drain something. Nothing's draining. And I'm just like my body's shaking. It's so painful. I'm yelling expletives like under my breath, trying to catch my breath. And I wish this doctor's visit upon no one. But basically they were like, yeah, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what this is. We're going to send you to the ER because that's going to be the fastest way you can get a CAT scan. So he called in to the ER doctor. He was like, hey, sending this guy over. Don't really know what this is. It's not draining. It's very painful. Scan him and then we'll figure it out. So went over there, was there for a few hours, but eventually got the CAT scan. And that was kind of later last night. And the ER doctor is going to talk to that surgeon today. And then I'm going to go back today and see what's up. So,
wow.
That's full circle.
Still don't know. Wow. That's incredible. So basically you're probably paying like $5,000 to know nothing. Currently, that's currently where you're at.
Not for nothing. Well, to know nothing. I got a lot of experience yesterday.
That's true. You've definitely lived a life there.
Yeah. All right. Not what I was expecting. So not a brain injury. Just to confirm.
Are you able to currently play pickleball in your state, or do you need to, running, jumping, moving? Is that all painful?
Yeah, dude, that's your job, isn't it? I mean,
walking's painful.
Walking's painful. Okay. So you're like Netflix and chilling right now.
No Netflixing, but yeah.
What do you need? An HBO Max login? What do you need here?
No, I got it all. I'm just not watching any TV.
Okay.
Got too much going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're sorry for your losses there and your physical ailments, but you know what? Maybe there's a silver lining at the end of it all, like a rookie of the year type situation where after they perform whatever surgery they need to, your butt becomes like super in some capacity.
I'll keep you posted. I hope it does.
Yeah, I hope so too.
More to come on the butt updates. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure to have you back on when we.
Please, we got to have a full recap.
Yeah. Can't wait to clip that one up for Instagram.
Okay, Thomas, do we have pickleball news besides Rob's ER visits and everything going on?